blather on or whatever else, but I don't know. Anyway, Liz Benjamin writes, the events of the last 24 hours have pretty much clinched it, and NY23 is now officially a two-man race between Democratic nominee Bill Owens and Conservative Party upstart Doug Hoffman. NRCC Chairman Pete Sessions, Governor Pataki, former Mayor Giuliani. Republicans are quickly abandoning their nominee, Assemblywoman Didi Scozzafava, and backing Hoffman in a last-ditch effort to keep the John McHugh seat in GOP hands, and perhaps more importantly, deny the Obama administration a much-needed political victory. That's not me talking. It's Liz Benjamin from the New York Daily News. Of course, yesterday's Daily Coast poll, which is reinforcement of other polls. Republican insiders say the internal polling shows the same thing. So pretty much, I guess, in the final days, it is focusing in on the two candidates, Owens and Hoffman. And, we're watching how the different sides line up here at the station. Obviously, we've got Joe Brosk, who's a Hoffman guy. We've got, I think we know probably where Mr. Levin would be. We've got the Souch lad. I was just talking to him about where he stands and all these other things. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. There's Glenn Curry. There's Mr. Levin. So, he's usually not here on Fridays, but he's here today. So that's the basic that's going on. The tenor of the race is changing. The momentum seems to be changing, and a lot of excitement on one side, not the other. There was a revelation. We all read about that horrible 9/11 call in the parking lot of the Lowville Elks Club. And then the next day they held that press conference, which was supposed to be an in-your-face thing in front of Hoffman headquarters, and the optics on that turned out bad. Republicans are saying now that there was a plan to have a person dressed in a chicken suit storm that press conference on Court Street. The chicken being a metaphor for why won't you debate. And the plan was dropped when no one was willing to wear the suit. That might be a bit of good fortune for the Republicans. It's been well, let's just put it this way, a campaign that will be remembered for some time to come. Those things happen. On the other side of the coin, the Hoffman effort's been pretty well organized. And it's different because you've got different candidates. Obviously, a candidate like Ms. Scozzafava is versed in issues and has been around the issues and can talk on them. The other candidates who haven't been in office have trouble doing that. And on the matter of glibness, I think you have to give it to Bill Owens as a trial attorney. I mean, I watched him on that debate last night on WSYR, and he just looked like a congressman, but I didn't like what he was saying. I'll have to wait and see if they call back there. I don't know how many of you watched it, but there were about 10 or 11 people who stopped over to Fort Pearl to take a peek at it. So before we watched the baseball game, we had to watch the debate. There's not many taverns where you get that option. I mean, you don't walk into the Hitch and say it before the Yankee game, hey, can we watch the debate? But we had this guy come in. He's a big-time Republican, young, up-and-coming Republican, what I call a frat boy Republican. And he came in and said he wanted the debate on. I said, okay, but first you got to buy around. And he did. So we put the debate on before the Yankee game and watched it. And the crowd, everybody was interested. There was one guy who said they thought Hoffman held his own. There are others who thought Scozzafava carried the day, and a couple people thought Owens did. So it was kind of a diverse crowd there, a little like the bar in Star Wars at times. 755-12.